There's a chunk of an F-117 Nighthawk sitting in a museum in Belgrade. A wing section. Twisted metal. Burn marks you can still see. That piece shouldn't exist, because the whole point of the F-117 was simple. Don't be seen. Not hard to spot. Not kinda hidden. Radar looks out and comes back empty. For years, that idea held up in real wars. The plane goes in, drops, leaves. No one touches it. Then, March 27th, 1999, one Serbian missile unit, old Soviet hardware, bad weather, and the Nighthawk falls out of the night. That's why that wing is in a museum. And here's what most people miss. Stealth didn't fail that night. Stealth is a deal, a very expensive deal. You're betting the enemy is searching with the wrong kind of eyes. So the real question isn't, how do you shoot down something invisible? It's, what happens when someone finally learns where to look? Lieutenant Colonel Darrell Zelko wasn't worried. March 27th starts like the other nights. Briefing, weather, strap in. The F-117 underneath him feels the same as always. Solid, quiet, almost routine. He's deep into this campaign. Dozens of missions, and he's never had that moment every pilot dreads. Enemy radar locking on. That "you've been found" warning. That kind of record does something to your head. Not cartoon arrogance, more like a calm that comes from repetition. Follow the checklist, fly the profile, come home. Tonight's target is Serbian Air Force headquarters in Belgrade. High value, heavily defended. Exactly why the Nighthawk exists. He takes off with F-16 escorts, Vipers carrying anti-radar missiles, standard package. Then the weather turns ugly. Storm clouds, rain, the kind that can mess with sensors and timing. Over the radio comes the call. The Vipers are ordered back to base, and they peel away. Zelko keeps going. He's flown solo before, and the whole promise of the jet is that he doesn't need company. On most radars, this 65-foot aircraft doesn't read like a plane, more like noise, or less. He crosses into Serbian airspace and the cockpit stays quiet, engines humming, instruments glowing. Another run, another night at the office. Nothing in front of him suggests this one will be different. On the ground, Lieutenant Colonel Zoltán Dani has been waiting for this moment for 3 weeks. Not a chance. This exact kind of night. His missile battery is older, Soviet-era equipment, technology NATO assumes is outdated. And because of that, Dani can't survive the way a modern force would. He can't sit still. In the last 21 days, he's moved his unit 15 times. Different fields, different tree lines, always at night. Because the moment you stay put, NATO's anti-radar missiles eventually find you. Mobility keeps you alive. It doesn't help you hit a stealth aircraft. So Dani studies patterns, NATO's habits, routes, altitudes, timing, the way missions repeat when people feel safe. A lot of commanders don't bother chasing the F-117. Modern radar struggles to see it, so they treat it like a ghost and focus on what they can hit. Dani doesn't. He has a theory. Stealth isn't magic, it's engineering. The F-117 is shaped to deflect certain radar frequencies, the kind newer systems use. His unit still has an older early warning radar, a long wavelength set. Maybe it can catch something. Not a clean track, just a hint. He can't prove it in a lab, only out here, under pressure, with his crew's lives tied to the screen. Tonight, the storm that sent NATO's escorts home also clutters the sky with noise. Messy returns, false contacts, interference. Most people see that as blindness. Dani sees a chance. Sweep the skies, he tells his crew. The radar comes alive. The screen fills with chaos, weather, static, clutter. They stare at it, trying to make meaning out of nonsense. Dani leans in, and he picks out one dot that moves wrong. Too straight, too fast, too consistent to be weather. His crew isn't convinced. The blip fades in and out, swallowed by the storm. Dani keeps tracking it anyway, speed, heading, where it should reappear if he's right. It's coming toward them. Quietly, to himself more than anyone else. The ghost is here. Zelko's computer settles onto the target coordinates. 6 kilometers up. Storm clouds below and above. The Nighthawk slides through the dark the way it always does. Steady, quiet, unbothered. Down on the ground, Dani watches that faint dot blink in and out. There, gone. Back again. Buried inside all that weather clutter, but still moving like it has intent. Turn on the targeting radar. That's the risky one. The radar that can guide missiles, and also the one that tells NATO exactly where you are. His crew powers it up, scans, waits. Nothing. The early warning radar can feel something. The targeting radar sees empty sky. Dani's jaw tightens. This is the whole problem with stealth. 2 systems looking at the same air, getting 2 different truths. I don't see the target. Nothing. Dani doesn't argue. He just keeps staring at the early warning screen. That dot is still there. Closer now. Keep looking. Up in the cockpit, Zelko reaches his target zone. The computer chimes. The moment he's done 12 times. On the ground, Dani checks distance and timing. The blip is nearly overhead. If the targeting radar doesn't catch it in the next few seconds, it passes out of range and the window closes. We have 20 seconds, Dani says. His crew works the scopes harder, searching for anything that looks like a real track. Still nothing. Zelko's hand moves toward the release controls. Dani forces his voice steady. Again, keep it up. He double-checks the early warning screen one more time. The dot is right there, almost mocking them. 15 seconds. Zelko opens the bomb bay. It's standard. You can't drop through a closed door. But for a few seconds, the jet changes shape. Panels open, edges shift. The clean stealth profile isn't clean anymore. Not by much, just enough. On the ground, Dani's targeting radar finally flashes something back. A return. A real one. I have it. And then, louder, because now it matters, I have it. The crew snaps in. 2 channels confirm. Tracking. This is what Dani's been moving for, studying for, waiting for. Launch. 2 missiles rip off the rails, one after the other, cutting bright lines up into the storm. Inside the cockpit, Zelko releases his bombs. They drop clean, laser-guided, exactly as planned. He starts to pull away, already shifting into the exit profile, already thinking about the next step. Then the cockpit lights up with noise, alarms, sharp, urgent, a warning that doesn't belong in his world. Missile lock. For a half second, his brain rejects it. That can't be right. Then he sees them. 2 glowing trails punching up through the cloud deck below, climbing fast, aimed straight at him. He yanks the stick, trying to climb away, but the F-117 doesn't carry the usual tricks. No flares, no chaff, no electronic jamming. It's built around one idea: don't get seen. Now he's been seen. G-forces slam him into the seat. The jet claws upward. The first missile closes in, passes so close he can see its body through the canopy. It doesn't detonate. A malfunction. A miss. A breath. The second missile doesn't give him that. It detonates about 20 feet off his left wing. A white flash, then orange, then red. Shrapnel tears through the wing. Hydraulics cut. Control surfaces gone. The left side of the aircraft starts coming apart, and the Nighthawk snaps into a violent spin. 7 Gs pin Zelko to the seat. The cockpit turns into a spinning mess. Alarms screaming, lights flashing, the horizon flipping like a broken carousel. Ground, sky, ground, sky. He tries to move his arms and realizes he can't. It's like someone strapped weights to his wrists. The ejection handles are inches away and still out of reach. The spin gets worse. Full tumble now. Fire crawls through the aircraft, bright enough to light the cockpit. Ejecting while spinning can kill you. The forces can break your body. The seat can tumble. You can black out before the chute even opens. But staying in the jet is not a gamble. It's a sentence. He forces his arms forward, every ounce he has. Fingers find the handles. He pulls. The canopy blasts away, glass and wind, then the seat rockets out. For a moment, he's not sure it worked. He's still half conscious, still feeling the spin, still convinced he's trapped inside the aircraft. Then, the parachute snaps open. The harness jerks him upright. The noise drops out. The chaos drops out. Silence. Below, the Nighthawk falls away, trailing fire. A $45 million aircraft turning into a burning torch in the dark. He's alive. And then, the next thought lands, simple and human. Man, Mom is not going to be happy about this. He looks up. The parachute is bright orange. In enemy territory, that isn't just visible, it's an announcement. He reaches for the survival radio. Mayday, 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 Vega 31, Vega 31, going down. Static, then a voice. Vega 31, Magic copies your Mayday. Last position? Relief hits hard. Last position in aircraft, point after target. He scans the ground and spots a ditch, small, dark, maybe cover. Then he hits the earth. Zelko lands hard, rolls, and gets up fast. The ditch is close, maybe 30 feet. He runs for it and drops in, then starts smearing mud across his face and flight suit. Not elegant, just something that breaks the shape. Then he goes still. The countryside wakes up around him, engines in the distance, getting closer, headlights sweeping across fields, voices, more than a few, calling out positions, organizing search lines. A stealth aircraft has come down. An American pilot is somewhere out here. That news doesn't stay inside the military. It leaks into everything. Local police, army units, and then civilians, farmers, neighbors, people who heard it and grabbed a flashlight. The beams start moving in grids, dozens of them, and they keep tightening. Zelko presses himself into the mud and controls his breathing. He can hear a highway nearby, cars rolling past, some slowing, some stopping, doors opening, more boots on the ground. The activity doesn't fade, it builds. He checks the radio. Rescue is coming, but coming could mean hours. They have to coordinate, avoid getting shot down, find him in weather like this. So his job is simple and brutal. Stay invisible in a ditch while an entire countryside tries to make him visible. Minutes stretch, then an hour, then more. The voices don't drift away. If anything, they get closer. Then he hears something new. Movement in brush, right outside the ditch. Footsteps. Slow. Careful. Methodical. Zelko freezes. Not just still, completely motionless. Breathing turns shallow without him deciding it. The steps stop maybe 10 feet away. Then he hears panting. Snuffling. The wet working sound of a nose following a trail. A dog. And a dog doesn't care about mud, or darkness, or how still you are. The snuffling gets closer, right to the edge of the ditch. Zelko's hand slides to his survival knife. He pulls it free without a sound. In a few seconds, he runs through the options. If he tries to kill the dog, can he do it silently? Probably not. Dogs don't die quiet. The handler would come running. If the dog finds him and barks, it's over. If he kills the dog and the handler shouts, it might also be over. So the question becomes, which choice buys him time? He grips the knife hard enough to feel it in his bones, holds his breath. The dog's breathing is close now, close enough to count the pants. And then, the dog turns, just turns, jumps up, trots away like it got bored, like the scent broke, like luck decided to blink. The footsteps follow, fading. Zelko stays frozen another full minute anyway, because you don't trust luck that much. Then the radio crackles. Sandy 01, Vega 31, over. His eyes widen. They're here. Go ahead, Sandy 01, over. Zelko doesn't answer right away. He peeks over the ditch, scanning. Flashlights still moving out there. Search teams close, maybe 100 yards, sweeping in lines. The helicopter is coming in, rotors distant but building. Sandy 01, is it okay to come down there? If he answers too loud, if he exposes his position, everyone gets the same information. The rescue team and the people hunting him. The voice comes again, tighter now. Vega 31, if you don't answer, we're going to try this later. Later could be hours, maybe the next night. He doesn't have later. The search is tightening. He makes the call. Yeah, okay, let's go for it. He pulls out his infrared strobe, meant to be invisible to the naked eye, clear as day through night vision. He switches it on. The helicopter shifts course. Then the pilot comes back, confused. They still can't see him. Maybe the strobe isn't working. Maybe weather is washing out the picture. Maybe the angle is wrong. Doesn't matter. It's not working. The helicopter circles. In the distance, flashlights start moving faster. People heard the rotors. Zelko has one backup option, a flare. Bright, obvious, no mistaking it. It will show the rescue team exactly where he is. It will also show everyone else. He looks at the approaching lights, then at the circling helicopter. Now or never. He pops the flare. Orange light floods the field, the ditch, his hands, his face. The helicopter banks hard toward him, and in the distance, every flashlight snaps in his direction. Then the radio cracks again. Snuff your flare, it blinds our night vision. He shoves the burning flare into the mud. It hisses and dies. The helicopter comes in low, fast, downwash ripping grass and dirt into the air. It touches down maybe 20 feet away. Side door open. Rescue team up, weapons covering the dark. Zelko runs. How are you feeling, sir? Great, now let's get out of here. A hand grabs him, hauls him inside. Door slams. Lift off. The field drops away. Seconds later, flashlights converge on the spot where the helicopter was. Too late. Zelko is gone. Danny and his crew make history that night. They become the only team to ever shoot down a stealth aircraft in combat. Not just any stealth jet, the F-117, the one that's supposed to pass through defended airspace like it owns the sky. And they do it with equipment that, on paper, belongs to another era. Later, Danny describes it like scoring the winning goal in a football match. No speech about hatred, no myth-making. More like the satisfaction of solving a problem everyone told you couldn't be solved. But the aftermath is where the weight really lands. The US tries to erase the wreck. Cruise missiles hit the crash site. The goal is obvious. Destroy whatever can be studied. It doesn't work. Serbian teams reach the site first. They pull the aircraft out piece by piece. Panels, coatings, fragments, and they study what they can. And that's the part people still argue about, where those pieces ended up afterward. Some reports and accounts suggest parts were shown to Russia and China. Others push back on how much was actually transferred and how useful damaged wreckage really is. What isn't disputed is simpler. The wreck wasn't fully destroyed, and pieces were recovered. You can still see parts of that aircraft today at the Museum of Aviation in Belgrade. Wing sections, panels, fragments of a jet that was never supposed to leave evidence behind. After the shootdown, the U.S. Air Force changes how it flies stealth missions. Less predictability, fewer repeated routes, more variation in timing and profiles. Because Danny proves a basic rule. Stealth isn't invisibility. It's a mismatch between what you are and what the enemy expects to find. And the moment the enemy stops searching the old way, the advantage shrinks fast. 12 years later, Zelko gets something he'd said he wanted for a long time. He meets the man who shot him down. In 2011, they sit together, two lieutenant colonels, both professionals, both carrying the same night in different ways. No argument, no score settling. Danny tells him it felt good to finally hit the target. Zelko congratulates him. A job well done. War ends. The lesson doesn't. Nothing stays invisible forever. Someone's always watching. Eventually, someone learns what to look for. If you were in Danny's position, old equipment, modern enemy, one narrow window, how would you have played it? What do you think mattered most? the radar choice, the weather, or NATO's habits. And if you want more stories like this, where real people, real decisions, and small advantages decide everything, stick around.